So guys, as NHL 19 gets closer and closer to release date, today's franchise mode video is going to be based upon one of the cover athletes, the great one, Wayne Gretzky. So you guys know Wayne Gretzky is one of the best, if not the best hockey player of all time, right? Just checking. Just so you guys know, he's pretty damn good. And since Wayne Gretzky is definitely one of the best hockey players of all time, he has a couple of records associated with him as well. Mainly like 60 or so that he currently holds records for in the entire NHL still to this date. So we're going to be digging into the well here of franchise mode. We're going to be going back to those 99 overall players and putting an entire team of them together once again. So we have a 100 overall team, but this time we're going to be going very far into the future of franchise mode, roughly past 20 years or so, and we are going to see if any one of these 99 overall players can break any of Wayne Gretzky's current NHL records. Hey guys, what is going on today? Bojo here, back again for another NHL 18 Franchise Mode Challenge video, where today we're taking on the Great One and seeing if any of our players can surpass any of Wayne Gretzky's records that we're going to be looking at today. So if you guys won't mind, make sure to go down to that thumbs up button, hit like, subscribe if you guys are new, and check out intotheam.com. Use code BOJO for 10% off summertime sales. Buy something. So like I said, guys, Wayne Gretzky has a couple of records in the NHL for sure, but today we're only going to be focusing on roughly around like 10 to 14 records that I think this team might be possible to surpass. So here are a couple of the records that we're going to be specifically looking at for today's video. Obviously, we're going to be looking at total goals, so 894 goals and 1,485 total games for the regular season. Most goals including playoffs, 1,016. Most goals in one season, which is that 92. Most total assists, 1,962. Most assists including playoffs, 2,222. Most total points, 2,856. Most points including playoffs, 3,238. And then most 40 or more goal seasons, he's had 12 and 20 seasons. Most consecutive 40 or more goal seasons, which is also 12. Most 50 or more goal seasons, which is at 9. And then most 60 or more goal seasons, which is at 5. Most 100 or more point seasons at 15. Most points for his career in the playoffs at 382. And then finally, most points in one playoff year, 47. So as you guys know, Wayne Gretzky only managed to play 20 seasons in the NHL for his entire career. So roughly, we're going to be giving all these guys the same amount of opportunity to pass any one of those Wayne Gretzky records in 20 seasons of franchise mode. I set the sim to 25 total years. We have plenty of extra time to work with if need be. Now, let's go over the team. I did something a little bit different for you guys today regarding the building of the team. I went over through like the WHL, QMJHL, OHL, and grabbed a bunch of those like 15, 14, and 16-year-old players and boosted all their stats up to 99. So that way, if we do a 20-year simulation, roughly these guys are only going to be about 35, 36, 34 years old. So hopefully they'll all still be around by the end of those 20 years and will have their total stats. So here's a rundown of the team. We got Ben McCartney, Connor Zary, Reese Vitale, Corson Hopwo, Ridley Gregg, Jake Neighbors, Holden Kodak, Noah Boyko, OZZY WIESBLATT, Carter SOUCH, Drew Engelott, and Seth Jarvis for our entire offensive lineup. So as we move on to the defense, once again, these guys are going to be at 99, and I don't expect them to surpass any of Wayne Gretzky's records. We're mainly going to be focusing on the forwards for them to pass the records, but obviously you still need some good D-men to help those guys out on forwards. So we got Cade Augustine, Devin Clayson, Luke Prokop, Hayden Korzak, who actually has a picture in this game, as does Matthew Robertson, and Nolan Orzek, all those guys obviously 99 overall. To the goaltenders, we have Boston Bylos, hell of a name, and Dylan Garand, 99 as well, 15 and 16 years old on both of those guys. I gave them all $15 million contracts for 15 years because I want to get through these simulations as quickly as possible so I don't have to worry about the draft. I don't have to worry about free agency. I don't have to worry about re-signing any players or any which way, making my AHL team better. It doesn't matter. All we care about is the regular squad. So when year 15 comes, I'll have to give them contracts, but for the first 15 years, it's going to be smooth sailing. Now, the most important part about this series is going to be for me and my damn memory to take pictures of all the guys' offensive stats after year number 10, because if you guys remember from our Be a Pro simulation test video where we saw how many years you can go through a Be a Pro simulation, we noticed that the game doesn't keep all your stats. It only keeps up to 10 years at a time. So once year 10 comes into play, so around the 2027, 2028 season, I have to remember to go into their stats and take those screenshots, so that way, at the end of the video, we could total up everything to see if any of Wayne Gretzky's records were indeed passed. All right, so other than that, once again, it's just going to be cutting away for a while. I'm going to start simulating. Once year number 10 comes around, maybe I'll hop in for a quick little clip here and there, but I'm mainly going to be taking the screenshots. Other than that, I'll see you guys probably by the season 2037, 2038, if I had to say the least. So 20 years from now, we'll total up hopefully everything, and we'll see if any of Wayne Gretzky's records are passed. Alrighty guys, so it definitely took some time, but I have finally finished up all 20 years of simulation with this team here in franchise mode. So what you guys are seeing on the screen right now is going to be pictures that I took throughout the season showing each of our players' player stats and their playoff stats. Now the funny thing is, I mentioned before that Be a Pro tracks 10 years, franchise mode only tracks 9 years. The consistency in this game between modes of the same stat screens are really tremendous, to be perfectly honest. So what I did was I took those pictures for the first 9 years, took them of the regular season and playoff stats, then the next 9 years, which would be years 10 through 18, and then the last ones, years 19 and 20, took pictures of those guys as well. And that way we have our grand total of everything. Okay guys, and now in order to track those stats accurately, I had to bring every single one of those players and their stats into an Excel sheet. I'm sorry guys if I'm like, my eyes look a little bit weird. My eyes are killing me right now, but I wanted to get through this video. So as you guys can see on the left-hand side of the screen right here, let me zoom in just a little bit with Excel. I tracked all their stats. Obviously we have all the years listed on the left-hand column, the games played, which are going to be the same for every player, all their goals, all their assists, and all their points, and then this right-hand column here is games played for playoffs, goals, assists, and points that correspond to that as well. And as you can see, the sheets that are down here that go along the bottom part of the Excel sheet are every single player in our team that we did for franchise mode, and all their stats obviously correspond to everything with which we took. And obviously the last 3 stats down here associated with the Gretzky records that we'll be going over as well. Most goals with playoffs included, most assists with playoffs included, and then most points with playoffs included. Now the reason I only tracked up to year 18 because the game total is 1,476, which is roughly the closest amount to Gretzky's actual games played in the NHL. So I left out years 19 and 20 on the stat sheet, and we just used the years 1 through 18 to bring us a basis on Gretzky's record total. So now the time you guys have all been waiting for. Did any of our players end up beating Gretzky's records? So let's go over all the records that we mentioned off at the beginning of this video. For goals, Gretzky had 894. The maximum amount of goals that one of our players got was Carson Hopwo, 661. Most goals with playoffs included, Gretzky had 1,016, and obviously Carson Hopwo was also the leader of that stat in our team with 762. Most goals in one season, Gretzky had 92, and Carter SOUCH and OZZY WIESBLATT tied for the most goals in one season on our team, only getting 54. No 60 goal scorers for our team. As we get to assists, Gretzky had 1,962, and Luke PROKOP held the record for our team, which was a defenseman, funny enough, with 1,014. And then if we include the playoff stats with that as well, Gretzky had 2,222, while Luke PROKOP only had 1,180. And then if we get to the most total points, Gretzky had 2,856, and OZZY WIESBLATT was also the point leader, on our team with 1,544, and he was also the leader for most points with playoffs on our team with 1,794, roughly around half of what Gretzky had, 3,238. And now as we get to the 40 or more goal seasons, in the 20 seasons that Gretzky played, he had 12 seasons in which he got over 40 goals, and for our team, Hopo and WIESBLATT actually each had 6 seasons of 40 or more goal seasons out of 20. However, when it came to most consecutive 40 or more goal seasons, Gretzky still maintained that 12 stat, while Hopo was the only person on our team that actually had 3 consecutive seasons of 40 or more goals. As we get to 50 or more goals, Gretzky's record obviously was 9, and WIESBLATT held the record for our team with only 2. And then, as I mentioned earlier, most 60 or more goal seasons, Gretzky got 5 of those. Nobody on our team managed to get 60 or more goals. As for 100 or more point seasons, Gretzky had 15 of those. WIESBLATT held the record on our team with 5. And now comes the closest stat out of all of these records. Gretzky's most playoff points, 382. Mind you, he got 382 playoff points in roughly only 122 games. Carson Hopo was the most playoff point leader on our team with 267 playoff points. However, it was almost 3 times as many playoff games in order to get those 267 points. That's pretty damn crazy if you ask me. And then finally, most points in one playoff year. Gretzky had 47 points in one playoff year, and Carter SOUCH held the record on our team with 26 points in one playoff year, which he managed to get in year number 2, actually. Year number 2. All right, guys, so we're back into NHL 18 at this current time. Like I said, we are at year number 20, beginning of year number 21 in this franchise mode. And I think in order just to finish off this video, I think I'm just going to simulate the rest of these guys' careers here. Hopefully they go pretty deep into their careers. Hopefully not, actually, because I don't want to be recording for all too long. So I'm going to keep simulating with these guys until they retire, and then I'm going to show you guys their exact final stat totals, because obviously we can't do the final stat totals unless they retire, so we can see their actual total results, and we'll go piece by piece until all these guys eventually do retire on the team. So how many years do they still have left on their contracts? 3 more years, so I got to remember that to re-sign all of them after 3 more simulation years. But let's keep simulating, and I'll see you guys in the off season if any of these guys end up retiring. So see you then. Okay, guys, so we have our first set of retired players here, 4 of which coming from our team. Seth Jarvis, Devin Clayson, Jake Neighbors, and Nolan Orzak are all retiring here, all at the age of 36 or 37 years old. And there's their total stats, 470 goals, over 1,000 assists for Jarvis, 1,471 points. And then the pretty much downgrades from right there. Jake Neighbors had 481 goals, which is not bad. 796 assists, 950 assists there from Devin Clayson, who was a defender, but 2 defenders and a left wing and a right wing have now left from our team, as you guys can see. And any goaltenders, any of our goalies retired? No goalies retired yet. So 4 of our 20 players are down. We still have 16 more to go. Okay, guys, so after the 22nd year of our simulation, we have 3 more players that are calling it quits for our team. Corson, Hopewell, Drew Englot, and Ben McCartney are all done and did, all of them over 1,800 games played. Corson, who was actually closest in a lot of breaking Gretzky's records, still didn't beat his goal record, nowhere near the assist record. Points, 1,747. Englot was right there behind him, 1,721 as well. McCartney, 1,641, 674 goals. Hoplow, 732 goals. So still a pretty good showing from those guys there. Any of our goalies call it quits. None of the goalies still called it quits, so they're still going. But 3 more guys bite the dust. We still only have 3 more years left of this simulation to go through. And most of the guys need to be re-signed the next year. So we'll do 1 more, see if they're done. If not, we'll keep on going for another 3 more years. All right, guys, so here we are once again after year number 23 of this sim. There's technically only 2 more years left, so obviously a bunch of our guys are definitely going to be retiring by that time. But 1,547 points for Holden Kodak and 1,151 for Cade Augustine. 1,886 games played, 701 goals for Holden. Any goaltenders finally calling it quits in this time? Still, our goaltenders are still holding it through, but yeah, less than half of our team is still yet to retire, and I do have to re-sign them, but I think I'm just gonna leave it there, man. You guys kind of get the gist of it from now on. Contracts would be up, and most of their contracts are up at this time, but, you know, just taking a look at all the guys that are still on our team, they're still putting up decent points, like 85, 87 points, but a bunch of these guys have definitely lost, like, overall points. They're still in, like, the low 80s now, 34, 35 years old. A bunch of our, like, drafted guys are technically even on the team now, so not even all of my franchise guys who I picked are technically on the squad anymore. The goaltenders, yeah, so this Dylan Garand is still there, but the one goaltender is not, so he might have even retired way before then. He might have even retired at age like 35 or 36, but the one goalie's still here, and yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits there, guys. We made a team, a stacked team, 99 stats and everything, a 100 overall team, if you will. Put them up against the greatest of all time, Wayne Gretzky. They couldn't get it done. This test only goes to show that Wayne Gretzky was an absolute freak in the game of hockey. His stats are really just incredible, and can't even replicate it in a video game unless you go in there physically and play it yourself to change history. But just by simulating 20 years and playing roughly, or simulating the exact amount of games that Gretzky has played before in the NHL, it's pretty much impossible to replicate his stats. He really was one of a kind. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, a very unique test. This took a lot of time, a lot of simulating. I gotta stop with these 20+ GM mode or franchise mode simulation tests because it's literally driving me insane. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you guys are new. Suggest some other stuff you guys would like to see. Other than that, catch you guys next time. Peace.